Hey YouTube, Dawson right here, coming at you with some more Sentai news and what feels like just like almost a month straight of Sentai news between the whole mess with Goju Unicorn and the constant rumors around Sentai the last few weeks. You know, first coming out with the report that Sentai would be ending, then all the rumors of what would replace it, from Universe Heroes to Metal Heroes, and the truth seemed to be somewhere in between as we got the announcement of Project Red as a new Gavan series as part of that Project Red initiative, but there was also confusing language in there that it would still be part of the Super Sentai series, and I did see people pointing out that it might have been a mistranslation, that when it says it debuts within the Sentai series, it might have meant that it's taking its time slot, and that seems to be true, as there was an official TV Asahi press conference where they confirmed that Sentai will be officially ending with Gozyuger, even thanking the fans and saying they want to wind down at least 50 years and use the opportunity to create a new hero. I will link the article that has like the translation. Obviously, it's going to be in Japanese, so you'll have to translate it. I mean, I don't mean you're going to have to like find a book and find a translator, but I mean just click translate. But you know what I mean. So like some of the sentences might not be exact, but this gives a lot more clarification from the confusing note we had with Project Red the other day, because I kept seeing like different articles and tweets that were saying like, oh, it's part of Sentai, it's not part of Sentai. And so this seems to be much more of a clean cut. I'm sure there's going to be maybe some elements in Project Red that are similar to Sentai they might want to carry over, like the whole Red initiative and the idea of Red heroes for this really makes me draw the connection to the Universe Heroes with the, not the Universe Heroes, sorry, that phrase has been around so much, the Universe Reds, you know, and the idea of just capitalizing on the things that they do find success with Sentai, which is, you know, marketing the Red hero, and I think they were sort of test driving that. So I do think that there has been some things in Sentai these last few years that they were test driving ideas that they could use for this, but this definitely clarifies that Sentai is formally ending for now, which makes me happy that this is much more clear and concise. I was really worried about that in terms of like how messy it seemed, just in terms of the branding of like Super Sentai presents Project Red presents Gavan, and I was also worried based on some of the language that, and maybe we still will get this, but it seemed like if it was going to be connected to Sentai, that we would immediately have some like past Red suits showing up in this show. And I'm like, no, this needs to be a fresh start if you're trying to make something new and more appealing, and especially if they ever want to go simulcast it, I don't think they would want to have some confusing stuff like some Sentai Reds showing up in there. It's kind of like when people are saying they wanted to see Gozyuger showing up in Zets, I'm like, I don't think that would happen in its main first season, since they're trying to simulcast it and they don't want to confuse the new viewers. And they were asked, like, what about a Sentai revival in the future? And they said, you know, nothing concrete right now, but you never know, basically, more or less. I'm paraphrasing, but that just means you could probably see it down the road. Who knows? Like, multiple of these Toku franchises have been revived. Like, obviously, Gavan was a show that's being revived right now, and it's technically been revived before with the appearances of Gavan in those Sentai movies. And Rider, you know, obviously took a breather before Kuga. I mean, it's been a while since then now, but it's not without question that, or it's not unheard of that Sentai could return 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. But right now, like, the show we know is like winding down definitively. Like, even if this hadn't been clarified, you know, just based on what we're getting with Project Red, you can just tell it's not going to be Sentai. So a lot of the whole like, oh, Sentai's not ending because it's this new show, definitely felt like cope, and this confirms that. And it makes just a lot of sense when you think back on so many of the things we've been hearing over a while now, both in terms of like Sentai's performance, some of the language that was used when they announced Gozyuger about like winding down and this final battle, even within the show. And then, like I said, kind of experimenting with just the Red Rangers, even experimenting with some of the designs and stuff of what Sentai could be. And then, of course, you know, the possibility of them not getting the revenue from Power Rangers and stuff, on top of Sentai not doing as well as Rider, they're going to kind of want to make a change and make something different. So yeah, that confirms it. Sentai is officially ending with this series, and we will be replacing it with Space Sheriff Gavan. But who knows what the future holds in regards to that? You know, there's still obviously memorial items coming out all the time with changers and mecha and stuff. I mean, I think there's a good chance we could still see some return special, like, you know, Magi Ranger whatever years after, Bokenger whatever years after. I still think there's a chance we could see stuff like that. I wouldn't be shocked if we would see Sentai characters pop up in team-up movies if they want to do some Tyson movies and stuff. But in regards to the show that comes out every year, for the foreseeable future, it's going to be Gavan. I did see some theories that like they might do Project Red, Yellow, Blue, whatever colors, and then eventually form a team. I don't think that's impossible, but I don't think that's what they're going for in terms of the main show. That could maybe be for like team-ups and stuff. And I also personally don't think that like Project Red will just be one season. I mean, it's a possibility, but I just can't imagine they would announce this initiative and then next year do Project Blue, because I think the point is to capitalize on the fact that Red Toku heroes are popular with like Sentai and stuff. So I imagine this will go for at least a few years and build a catalog of a couple different like Gavan-like heroes or something like that. I've also seen people being like, oh, why do you keep showing pictures of Sharavan? Because it's Gavan. It's a Gavan series. Guys, it's actually a Caravan. No, I'm doing that because it's red. Like they're talking about this being a red Gavan. And so I'm like, oh, there's this perfect character that looks like a red Gavan. It's perfect to use for visual aids. But yeah, I also can't find this timing a bit funny. I talked about this when the rumors first came out, but like about a month, maybe two ago now, discourse on Toku Twitter and the Toku community popped up twice, both when the Ninja Kids trailer dropped and then when that article recirculated about the Power Rangers reboot saying it's not going to be using Sentai footage, which we knew. Like just a couple days ago, I saw an article being posted on Twitter from Screen Rant that was like, oh, the reboot's officially moving forward with Disney. And I'm like, okay, is this new information? And I looked at the article and it's literally all the information we've known for what I feel like is a year. So like, I don't know why that keeps happening with the Power Rangers reboot. I just keep seeing headlines recycled and then like angering fans. But anyway, there was discourse twice over when that quote came out about, oh, Power Rangers is going to do a series without Sentai, and then the AI trailer with Ninja Kids, and then you had all of the, the certain members of the Sentai community going all in and being like, oh, good thing we have Super Sentai that's thriving with Gozyuger. A few moments later. I just can't help but find the timing of that to be pretty funny. But yeah, we'll see what the future holds. I'm admittedly kind of intrigued by this new Gavan series. I'll definitely be checking it out and covering it. I'll be curious to see the press conference and announcement, because obviously we're going to get a look at what the show is, but I'm curious if they're going to talk any more about the initiative, and we might get insight into what the future might hold, like different types of metal heroes. Will there perhaps be a Sentai connection? But it does make me happy, at least seemingly from this, that there's not going to be a confused branding where they have Super Sentai's name a part of it, because that seemed like such a weird thing, almost like they didn't want to let go of it, and I just thought that was too much of a mess. And I think a clean break would be better. And if we do wind up tying it together later, I think they should wait a little bit and build something new with this audience. I mean, who knows, because they've been going crossover crazy for over a decade now, but I think it would be a mistake to put in some past Sentai characters and stuff like that if they wanted to draw a connection into this. I think it needs to be a clean break for a couple years. The last thing I'll be curious to see if that rumor is true about it being a shorter series, 25 episodes, and if that would mean we would get 25 episodes a year and then there'd be a break, or whether it would be like 25 episodes and then another 25 episodes right after that. Because I know Ultraman does shorter episodes, but I don't know if they are back to back like Sentai does. So I'll be curious to see about that. I don't mind that. Like, I certainly don't want to see, Rider, Metal Heroes, whatever, become a streaming show that's 8 episodes, but I'd like to see one with 25 episodes, because sometimes I feel 50 episodes is just too much. And I'll be curious to see like how serialized this is, if that's end up being true. But anyways, guys, that's the news. I'll keep you guys updated. We're supposed to get a little teaser this weekend for Project Red, so I'll definitely cover that. But anyways, guys, till next time, Dawson Ryder signing out.